combines some 90,000 men and state-of-the-art machinery to make the world's finest steel. From high tensile girders to the stainless cutlery that ends up on your dining table. But it's not all hard work for the people of Steel City. They can spend the day lounging by the pool, watching one of our top soccer teams, or browsing in the shops. But when the sun goes down, the fun really starts in the city's numerous nightclubs and discotheques. Yes, Yorkshire folk know how to have a good time. And it's good times for the city's housing too. Sheffield leads the way in town planning. Victorian slums have been cleared to make way for the homes of the future. To Steel, Sheffield really is a city on the move.
Okay, so let's get our illustrious guests up on stage. First up, we have got, where are we? My brain has gone on already. Ian. Where are you, Ian? So, Ian Stewart, can you all give him a few rounds of applause in the get-up, guys? So, Ian is the founder of Gremlin Graphics, State Games Managing Director of Vertical Scan. If you want to just take this seat, maybe in the middle here, that'd be great, thank you. Next up, we've got give him a round of applause, guys. Come on. And also made Lotus a screen. And we have got Shaun Hollingworth, who made Grumpy. And we've got our new guys up, so if you want to go and meet us up on stage. Sorry about that, smooth as anything. So the Crowther, everyone! Season Sport Genius, creator of Blagger, first in the Fatty Pigeon, and also back in the fold at Sumo in Sheffield. And Peter Harrap as well, sorry. So Peter is the Spec Maestro, creator of Monty Mole, the legendary. Thank you for joining us, guys. So, we're going to a bit of This Is Your Lifestyle thing going on. For the guys behind here is Sheffield of old. And we start our story. Ian spent his formative years in Surrey and Sussex. Leaving school at 15 to follow his father's footsteps as an engineer. Started a 5-year apprenticeship with a tool-making firm, and was soon drawn to an advert for a trainee sales manager at hi-fi retailer Laskey's. Is that right? Yay, cool. And we've got some mics up on here as well if you guys want to. Everyone who contributes, I think it should be on. 2. Yeah, that's all. There should be 3 there, so you can share them amongst yourselves. After 12 months mainly working in the Northampton store, he built a rep as someone who got next door. And you've got the opportunity to go up to Sheffield on the Leopold store, the Leopold Street store, is that right?
No, it's slightly wrong. Originally it was on the moor.
Was it on the moor?
Bottom of the moor.
Oh, right, Sheffield on the store, sorry, I know that, that's pretty cool. So, that moves us on to 1983. So I got 1982-83, obviously the computer hardware began to flourish with the launch of the Spectrum and the C64s. Computers arrived on Laskey's shop floor, and Ian's life changed for the better. So we've got a picture of Ian here, handsome young man, and Kevin as well. So we set the shop with Kevin to take advantage of the fact that...
I've changed a bit, haven't I?
No, yeah. I think, yeah, if anything, you've got more handsome. So I've got here that you set up Laskey's, and you set up your shop with Kevin to take advantage of the lack of software and retail by Laskey's, and that was Just Micro on Carver Street.
That's correct, yeah.
Awesome source. So, since the gap in the market, can you tell us a bit more about Just Micro? Or what was your experience setting it up? What was your ideas behind it?
Well, the idea was, as Laskey's weren't taking advantage of the the software sales. It just seemed like an ideal opportunity to sort of break away and set off on my own with Kevin. And it became sort of a dropping off point for most of the kids around Sheffield who were interested in computer games. And that's where I met Pete, as well as a good number of other guys that ended up working for the company. You know, they're now spread all over the world, working with Microsoft, Sony, etc. In America, Canada, all over the place.
So you've almost like started their careers almost.
Yeah, it was.
Must be very proud of that.
Yeah, it's good to follow them and see how successful they are as well.
Brilliant stuff. Well, there's a cash in my back. That's the location of your shop now. And with some bit of magic, if you can see that in this daylight, there you go. There's Just Micro as it was back then. Cute, quite little store. I miss that place. It was a nice place to go. I think you could go there and learn how to code and child games and things.
Yeah, we didn't restrict what people did apart from stealing stuff, which
Good stuff.
they didn't have many opportunities to do that. But no, it was a good atmosphere in there, and yeah, generally everyone behaved themselves.
Good stuff. So I've got a little bit of a bit more of a background on Just Micro actually from my research to see. It says Ian and Kevin had ambitious plans to run a software house, and there's a myth here which I've been told to clear up. It says that in the incentive to keep customers coming back to the shop, you had a series of Gremlin-like characters for customers to collect.
That's correct, yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
What was the idea behind that then? Was that just like
just a loyalty system?
Yeah, loyalty card kind of thing.
Yeah. And that's where the original Gremlin character came from.
Which brings us on to the Gremlin character. Lovely stuff.
Good looking guy.
I mean, I've got these. There is some rumour that I found that you almost got sued by Warner Bros. Because of Gremlin's film. Is that right? Any stories behind that?
Yeah, we could never actually register the Gremlin name. No. When we got the legal letter from the Warner's legal department, if you can imagine, just being some fairly young guys that were just sort of endeavouring to start something up, we sort of took notice of it. But we did manage to get an agreement with them at the end of the day, which gave us an unfettered licence to be able to use the name for software publishing. So it was cleared up. We didn't have to pay anything for it. We just had usage, but we couldn't do anything else with it.
So just the usage of the name?
Yeah, that's correct.
All right, that still stands. I guess that still stands. That goes on to 1984 then. I'm going to try and go through this relatively quick, essentially the last half an hour give you guys. But we get to 1984, and Just Micro becomes a mecca for teenage boys, as we've just been talking about. I was one of them. And I remember going in there relatively, probably just pretty close. It was, everybody knew about you, right? I was from Berkshire, at the town of Sheffield there. And yeah, everybody in Berkshire used to come out on the train to go.
Actually, most of them should have been in school still.
Well, yes. It was on school holidays. So we've got here at that 1984, both Pete and Shaun were customers of Just Micro, supplying games of the Spectrum. And famously, it was a microscope unit had blown up on a machine, and the subsequent repair that kept Harrap returning to the store. And in that time, a relationship developed, and Ian encouraged Pete to develop a game. And Ian came up with Monty. Now, we'll revisit Monty later. But it was inspired by the recent success of Manic Miner. Who remembers Manic Miner here? Quick show of hands. Oh yes, 1983. So, because of that, decided on being a platform game. And the game was in development, and the miners' strike was continuing in Britain, influencing the news and the media, and causing quite a lot of social tensions, especially in South Yorkshire. I remember those times very badly. And Monty becoming a miner takes place underground, seemed a natural fit, and adding flying hits and an effigy of Arthur Scarborough was the crucial decision by Ian. And when the press got wind of this, yeah.
The game was dreamed up here in Sheffield, just round the corner from the miners' headquarters, and it's been put through a stern test by the local computer enthusiasts. The game's inventor recently gave up university to compile programs, and his first is the most topical around.
Now your friend of mine, Pt1, what does he think of it?
Sorry, that sound of this guys.
They go down into the mine, and Monty has to avoid a flying can of Arthur's hairspray as he goes in search of gold. But his ultimate goal is to confront Mr. Scargill with a ballot paper. He's seen here in the top right-hand corner, and having negotiated the bridge and the flying pickets, Arthur is seen off, and he's reached the end of the game. The issues in the miners' strike may be complex, then so's his game, but no one's arguing about it being beneficial. The Miners' Welfare Fund gets 5 pence for each game sold. Keith Hutchins, News at 1, Sheffield.
There we go, and there's a picture of Monty there, William fans. Hey, you haven't changed a bit. Slightly,
Small specs.
Pardon?
Smaller specs.
So, can you remember that time? I mean, how's your life changed since then? In general, I mean, is this like the turning point for you? Did it get you more girls, for example, at that age?
No.
Come on, what a famous software developer, you thought they'd be bashing the door down, right?
No, not at all.
Ian?
No, Justin Bieber's here.
What's that, sorry?
No, Justin Bieber's here.
No, Justin Bieber's. Like, time to change something, really.
That's because we kept him too busy anyway.
He wasn't allowed out there. I'm the programming house, don't you go out there. I mean, Ian, they say out there that you were going to pay 5 feet to the miners for every game sold. Did you actually do that then?
No, we offered it, but they declined to accept it, so
Oh, right.
they got paid. Yeah.
Did you give a reason why, or was it just they didn't want to?
No, I think they may have had other things on their mind at the time.
Of course. Okay. So as well as we know, obviously Monty was a great hit, and he put Gremlin on the map. So Ian and Kevin, moving on, Ian and Kevin were aware that they had to put together a team to take advantage of the opportunity to really make the company grow. So when Peter on board, they turned to another local lad, against a programme that was already established and very well known, Antony Crowther, who is there. There you go.
It is very nice on its own.
That's it, Tony. I mean, that is some epic hair right there.
I used to pay to have it streaked, and now I get it for free.
Oh, that's it. I've got here that you worked at Alligator in a Sheffield basement.
I did, yes.
Any stories from that? Any
Well,
memories?
you mentioned Money Minor, which is where I copied that in Blagger for Alligator the other days. And then after that, we ended up at Gremlin. Pigeon, I think, is like the first game I did.
I got it. Well, you were one of the other stars that came alongside, obviously Jeffrey. Who was Jeffrey? I think I heard his name somewhere. Matt Smith and Eugene Jarvis, and you become a legend on the C64 game scene. Not only with what you could achieve visually on the C64, but obviously your ability to create a good game in apparently just a couple of weeks pending.
Yeah, I worked for I spent 2 weeks with a pen and paper, just working out what we did for a game. 2 weeks writing it, and then a month thinking about what I might do for the next one, and then we do that process all again.
And you just keep going round and round in circles. So it's literally like a couple of weeks turnaround, isn't it?
Yeah, so about 2 weeks coding.
Genius.
But it was only 64k at the time to film. So, it's like, I don't know, corner of a picture, I think.
was there any, can you remember if there were any rivalries at all between sort of you and these sort of supposed star killers?
No, I don't think we had rivalries. I used to meet up with Jeff a lot, and we used to go stop at his house and a lot, so we were really all friendly people. So,
oh, really?
There's no rivalry there. We used to try and copy each other's ideas, but like I copied that with Blagger and copied on it mine. So.
Really?
It wasn't mine, though. There wasn't a 64 version at the time, so my boss said, "Can you write one of these?" I said, "Yeah." So a week later, I gave him Blagger, and then a week later, it was in the shops. So.
Wow. That's cool. I've just got a thing from Zap magazine here, and it says that there was a bit of friction between the two of you at the time. Is that sort of correct?
What, sorry?
Zap magazine was saying there was a little bit of friction between, especially you and the hairy one. So, any stories around that?
It wasn't any friction. It was just that when I left the company, I sort of lost all the royalties, so I never got any money off. But then I kept going back to them anyway, so.
It's coming back from there.
Because I left Delegates after I did Loco to go and form Gremlin, and then I went back again to work for him again, and I did Trap. Then I left that and didn't get any money for Trap, so good.
That's cool.
But luckily it was only 2 weeks wasted.
And you got Percy the Pocket Pigeon as well.
I think that was the first Gremlin game, that was it?
Was that the first one?
Yeah, that was the first one, yeah.
Alright, so collaboration between yourself and Ben Dalglish.
Yeah, I think Ben did most of our music for all the games. He was like me, he was very quick. So I'd say some music, and the next day I've got about 5 tunes.
Awesome sauce, that's pretty cool.
I needed somebody who could keep up with me.
I've got here, obviously, staying on the thing with Monty, that it needs to be released on the C64, so tell me about the jigs and a little bit of thing on that. Any settings? Okay, and the video's gone. Oh well, never mind. Back to you then, Tony.
So after doing Blagger, I did Southern Blagger, which was a scrolling game, and then the version of Monty Ball I did was a souped-up version of Southern Blagger. So I worked out to do a bit faster by then, how to use more screen, so just pushing the limits just that bit further.
Still took him 2 weeks, though.
Still took you 2 That's crazy. So, I mean, is that why it was so different than the actual C64 version of it?
Yeah, because I had to go what I wanted to do, and then we didn't actually have a name at that time. So at the time when I was writing it, the name wasn't known of, and then Monty Ball came up near the end. I think, is that right? So I was writing it before it got a name, or did it know it was always going to be Monty Ball?
I'm still unsure as to actually how it ended up being called Monty Ball. It was probably in the pub, I would have thought.
That brainstorming.
You told me what name was in this video. I'm blaming you. I think Specky came later, so we'd already been there and done something.
That sounds about right then, Pete.
Okay, well, we'll move on. Well, yeah, so how did you, is that basically how you did it back in the day? You just all got together in the pub, came up with ideas, back a beer metal kind of thing, or was it just, did you have little meetings in the offices? And
well, evidently I told him exactly what to do, so I don't remember it like that.
You don't remember
But no, it was all quite informal, really. But at that time you're sort of blazing a trail, so a lot of cases you've got nothing else to judge it by. So it's a case of coming up with new ideas or reusing old ones.
Yeah, that brings us to Shaun, actually. There's Shaun. Good old Shaun Hollingworth up there in all his 80s glory. So, obviously you came to Gremlin Graphics from Just Micro as well, buying games for your Spectrum. And it says that it was for a friend working in the shop, and you quickly got to know Ian through that friend, is that right? Sure. What?
Yeah, that's right. Paul Jackson, who used to manage the shop for Ian, he originally worked at Lasky's hi-fi, TV shop in Sheffield, and Paul and I were good friends because we used to play music together. He was a guitarist and I played keyboards a bit, and that's how we got good friends. And when Paul went to work for Ian, I was still working at Radio Rentals, which is a television, and used to rent televisions out, and I was one of their engineers. And the apprentice there, brought his ZX81 in one afternoon, and I started fiddling around with it, and he said, "Oh, take it home." So I took it home, and that particular night I was up, 5 o'clock in the morning. I could not leave it alone. And I went to work next morning, I was really bleary-eyed, and I took it back. He says, "Oh, just hang on to it for a bit." So I think I had it for about 8 weeks after that. And he said, "Have you done with my computer?" So I gave it him back, and I immediately went round to WH Smith's and bought a ZX Spectrum, because that was the one that was out then, a 16K one. I filled that up in no time. Started to mess around with assembler coding. I got this assembler written in BASIC, which you do a load HL, and then DE, back one instruction every 10 seconds. So you go and hang about a bit. Then I started to write this little demo for Lasky. So just fiddling around and got to draw Lasky's logo and draw a Spectrum and a few Space Invaders and stuff like that. And they actually used to have it on in the shop. So, to cut a long story short, Paul Jackson took it to Ian. We were going to set a software shop, and when it happened, Tony done Potty Pigeon. They wanted some version of it for the Spectrum. I ended up experimenting with it. Did what I could. I mean, it was only quite inexperienced, really, not like some of these other fellas. Anyway, we did a passable version. I think on reflection it could have been better, but and I was offered a job and gave up my radio rentals job and went to work full time at Gremlin, and it was a brand new career for me, and although I don't program games anymore, I'm still very much involved in programming, for a living, and I've never looked back, really. It's been absolutely fabulous, and I've done things and met people that I would never have met, and really enjoyed every minute of it.
And it all started in that little shop in Sheffield.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
That's absolutely brilliant. Okay, so moving on to Potty Pigeon. Hopefully I've got a video to work this time.
No!
No! Damn this technology! This one I'll have on the Spectrum, won't it? This will take 4 years to load. Oh well, never mind. So I got Shaun's first job was to convert Potty Pigeon from C64 to Spectrum. Who remembers Potty Pigeon? Yeah.